President Buhari promises APC youth and the party's agenda ahead of 2023 gets us talking as the party registration gets underway. The chieftain of the party speaks to us tonight. And INEC plans to increase the polling units in the country. We find out why. Hello everyone and welcome to Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimale in Lagos. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, wants to increase the number of polling units in Nigeria because they believe the population of Nigeria has increased compared to the last 20 years when the present number of polling units were created. INEC today met with leaders of political parties over a proposal to increase or create more polling units ahead of the next general election of 2023. Nigeria has continued to maintain 119,973 polling units since 1996, when the country had about 50 million registered voters. The figure has remained same even when the numbers of registered voters have risen to over 88 million. The Commission is attributing the declining number of voters who turn out to vote on election day to the inadequate polling units in the country. Let's hear the reason why INEC wants to create more polling units.
The Commission is of the firm belief that expanding voter access to polling units in Nigeria is crucial to voter turnout in elections. Experience has shown that enhanced voter access to polling units increases turnout in elections. Increase in voter population, emergence of new settlements, urbanization, distance to existing polling units, difficult terrain, and other factors require constant review to give the voter a pleasant experience on election day. Above all, in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, it is necessary to decongest polling units to minimize overcrowding and reduce the long distances voters travel, often in overcrowded means of transport, in order to vote during elections. Unfortunately, the last time polling units were established was 25 years ago in 1996 by the defunct National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, NECON. There were 120,000 polling units intended to serve a projected population of 50 million voters. Today, the number of registered voters is 84,004,084 and is set to rise after we resume the continuous voter registration ahead of the 2023 general election.
The issue of electoral law is part of our conversation tonight and how we can make our elections better. So let's get talking with our guests tonight. And let me start by giving this premise. Yesterday, President Muhammadu Buhari met with youths of the All Progressives Congress, APC. He told them that the future of the APC lies in strengthened internal democracy with transparent electoral process, pro-people policies and programs, and value of each member's contribution to the party's growth. President Buhari noted that the ongoing APC registration and revalidation across the country will further ensure a shared vision for the party, grassroots ownership and participation, and inclusiveness for youths. Well, tonight, we shall be speaking with an elder statesman, a chieftain of the APC, a former Senate president, and a former chairman of the President Electoral Amendment Committee put together by President Buhari. A chieftain of the APC from the Southeast region, Senator Ken Nnamani, is our guest tonight on the program. He's in Abuja for us. Thank you so much, Senator Nnamani, and it's good to see you. Thank you for talking to us tonight. We shall be talking on some internal party matters and, of course, national issues. And let's perhaps begin with the ongoing APC registration and revalidation exercise. But I would like you to listen again to Chief Bisi Akande's comments on the exercise and the state of affairs of the APC. Take a listen to him, and I'd like to get your reaction to it, Senator Enamani.
A caretaker executive committee for a political party is an abnormality. If not carefully controlled and expeditiously managed, most aberrant authorities end up in contempt and disgrace. For this reason, I want to urge the present APC Caretaker Executive Committee to resist all temptations of C-type syndromes.
Chief Bisi Akande has criticized the caretaker committee, and he also described the ongoing registration exercise as wasteful. How do you react to that, Senator Enamani?
With due respect to our revered gentleman, Bisi Akande, I would like to start by relying on the section, on Article 9, subsection 4 of the APC Constitution, because the caretaker committee wants to commit the party to strict adherence to the stipulations of the grand norm of the party, and that is the party constitution. So Article 9, subsection 4 describes or elucidates the issue of membership and registration. The party is supposed to review its register every 6 months. Strict compliance will make the party a party to reckon with. And most people who are in the caretaker committee, I don't see any of them as job seekers. We are charged by the highest body of the party, which is the NEC, other than the National Convention. The highest body after National Convention is the NEC. NEC has reconstituted the caretaker committee to reposition the party. So the caretaker committee is an intervention mechanism to get the party to adhere strictly. I continue to emphasize the word, strict compliance to the Constitution. So the registration is in accordance with Article 9, subsection 4. In fact, it's on page 8 of the Constitution. So I think the chief, we are not trying to overstretch our limitations or our authority, but we are trying to follow strictly what the Constitution says. And we want to bring the party to observe every statement, every issue in the Constitution. Party members should be familiar with it and obey it. Because if we obey it, it's the same thing as we talk about rule of law. A country that does not follow rule of law, it becomes, end up in anarchy. So it looks to me that what the caretaker is doing is in strict compliance with the constitution of the party.
So Chief Bisi Akande was also worried about what he described as a seat-tight syndrome, because the expiration of the caretaker committee was sometimes end of last year, but for some reason the NEC also increased it. But for those who are afraid about the future of the party, let me ask you, importantly so to Senator, what is the future of the APC after Buhari's presidency?
That is, I think Mr. President understands the need for leaving a strong legacy. And I understand from all his actions so far that he wants to leave a strong party long after he has left office, that the party will continue to grow and grow and grow. And to do this, he wants us to start from the foundation. We're not registering, it's not the first time the party is doing registration and revalidation. Well, you know that since the last time they did it, there have been those who were 18 years and would like to participate, And there are those that have passed on. We have to update the register. As I said, it's in accordance with the Constitution. And any person being afraid of people overstaying might be a little bit of a mistake, because if you look at the 13 members in that very committee, none of them can be described as somebody, an applicant. We have very distinguished Nigerians that constitute that very committee. And we are doing all we can to reposition the party, because the party was actually more of, I wouldn't like to say the word shambles, but the situation where the party was not following the rules as specified in our own constitution. Nobody wrote it for the party. The constitution was prepared by the members of the party. So the caretaker, the job is so enormous. The constitution of the party itself is being reviewed. So many things to be done. We can't finish all. And we are working expeditiously to make sure that we keep to time. But there's so much to be done. So the extension is highly commendable by InEC, and we are working hard. For instance, after this registration, we'll be talking about congresses. After congresses, now we move into convention. And that will put the party on a very strong footing. So you're asking what is the fate of APC after Mr. President is no more in office. Yes, it may be difficult to find a candidate of his caliber, because he comes into election with almost 10 million votes in advance. It has called followers. We will look hard and see if we can get people or somebody in that category. But it will not be easy. However, he's trying to lay a strong foundation, and that is this registration and revalidation exercise that is going on now. So it is meant to strengthen the party and make it more attractive, to attract the youth, the women, and the elderly. So I think if the party is attractive enough, it has future. And at the beginning of that very attractiveness is having a solid party register at all wards. That is the issue. So any person being afraid of people overstaying in office, I don't think that fear should be erased.
I have about 2 questions in that regard before we go into our first break. There are ideas of a mega party, which some eminent Nigerians are putting together. And one of what is said is that the APC has failed Nigerians, and so they're trying to put up an alternative. So the question here, Senator, is how do you convince Nigerians to get their trust after President Buhari gets out of office? I mean, considering what, for example, one of my guests on the program, Dr. Baba Ahmed, said, he said, if APC and PDP are allowed to go on in the country to lead the country, we might not have a country in the next 10 years.
I'm no more hearing him.
Okay, if you can hear me now, the premise of what I'm laying is what one of those, the eminent Nigerians who are planning what they call the mega party. I don't know if Senator can hear me now. And they say that there is a failure of leadership in the country. So talking about when President Buhari leaves office, how your party hopes to convince Nigerians to gain their trust when someone like Dr. Baba Ahmed says, if you allow APC and PDP to go on, that we may not have a country in the next 10 years.
Well, as you probably know, we have heard about mega party in the past. But as I said, the foundation we're laying down to make APC very attractive and accessible, I think that is the beginning of creation of that very enthusiasm some people are showing now in joining APC. I'm talking especially in my own Southeast zone. Before this time, APC was started in 2013, I believe. People in my area did not take it very seriously. But right now, there's a barrage, a whole number of people showing interest in joining APC. Is the party of growth. of all the parties. It's a party of growth. So I don't want to, I wouldn't want to describe any person's prediction as being a prophet of doom, but I don't think it's necessary. It's the way we make our bed, we lie on it. If we make the party very attractive, people would like to join and participate politically and not run away and allow people that are questionable characters to run the party. Because if we make the party attractive, as we are trying to do now, I have no doubt in my mind that a number of people, men and women and youths, will show interest in joining and participate in what you call participatory democracy. Every person to participate. And the president describes it as from bottom up. That bottom up approach, I think, is a very good theory. And we want to put it into practice by allowing all members, everybody. I think I see a party as a church or mosque. Any person coming to pray to God or to Allah, we have no authority to tell the person to go away. So people registering to join a party, there's nothing wrong with it. So we should make it accessible. Let every person who is interested come and register. But if the person says he wants to be a treasurer, and we don't know the person's address, he has no second address, nothing, we will question him. You may run away, you may disappear with our money. But membership, yes, you can be member. So the way we make parties, it doesn't have to be APC alone. The way we create our parties, people will be interested to participate.
All right. There's still more issues. Electoral amendment matters are there. The issues of the national discourse on how we can get the country out of this security nightmare. But we take a break, and when we come back, we probably will get your views and your experience on some of these issues. Stay with us, Senator Namani. We'll be right back. Everyone, we'll take a moment, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's get back to our conversation with the former Senate President and the chieftain of the APC in the Southeast region, of course, chairman of the President Buhari's Committee on Electoral Amendment, Senator Ken Nnamani, who's been speaking with us from Abuja. Thank you, Senator Nnamani, for your time tonight. Talking about, before I get into the matter of electoral amendment and some other national issues, talking about fairness and justice in your party, let's talk about the issues of zoning and 2023. Your party, I mean, as a leader now, from the Southeast region, what do you think will be fair in terms of consideration of who become Nigeria's president in 2023 or who fly the flag of the party in 2023?
Shehu, I think is supposed to be a collective decision of the party. No one person can just impose himself on the party. Remember, we say that we are returning the party to constitutionality. We believe in the constitution of the party. Southeast is an integral part of Nigeria. In fact, Southeast zone of Nigeria contributes enormously. I dare say more than most other zones, because if you notice the type of investments made by people from Southeast, it's what you call direct investment, not portfolio investment. Portfolio investment is where you buy shares and stocks in companies. If you are going, you carry your certificates and go. Whereas direct investment is the one where you have physical structures, industries, buildings, and the rest of it. There's no part of Nigeria you go to, you don't see physical structures by the people of Southeast. Either developing of a market, or starting from the scratch. If you show them a bush, they'll clean it. If you go back there in the next 2-3 months, you see a lot of difference. So Nigeria, people from Southeast stands to benefit more if there's stability and progress in Nigeria, because they are willing to compete and compete favorably. So I think those that are saying it may be dangerous to allow Southeasterners to participate. Remember, we're talking about participatory democracy. All the zones should participate. And if based on merit, or zoning. You call it zoning. It's not a decision to be taken by only one person. I think Southeast deserves to be considered equally, because if you talk of true Nigerians, I believe that those of them from Southeast are true Nigerians. I'll then give you an example. If you go through some streets in the Southeast, you hardly can see any building owned by other people other than Igbos. But if you go through streets here in Abuja, Kano, Kaduna, Jos, everywhere, you see physical structures, very elegant structures. That's permanent investment. That's what I call direct investment. So any person behaving that way shows belief.
All right. So, because I need to get your views on some other national issue, but I like you to probably just shoot straight on this one. Has President Buhari, since getting into office, has it been fair to the people of the Southeast in your party and as a region in general? Just a very brief comment on that.
Well, I drove from Owerri to Enugu 2 days ago. I came back to Abuja just yesterday. The Enugu-Port Harcourt road that has remained a death trap, if you have seen it yourself and see the quality of construction going on, they use granite stones where they think the soil is bad. They are building it to last for at least 50 years. Then take the second Niger bridge, which is done by this President Buhari's administration. It has been on the drawing board for a long time. At times it's in the constitution, at times it's out. Take Enugu Airport, for instance. It appeared in about 4 different appropriation bills passed, but it was never built until this time. So infrastructurally, although it has not been widely publicized, APC has done tremendously well in the Southeast. Still going on.
All right.
Second Niger bridge and some. Go ahead.
All right. So I like to, I get your point there. Let me get 2 points which are very critical now, because Nigeria is facing a major security challenge and is in perhaps every aspect of the country, every region of the country. So a lot of people will talk about restructuring as a solution to some of these problems. And they are wondering why the government of the APC under President Buhari are not deemed fit in ensuring that restructuring happen. From your experience, you've been in government as a Senate president. Do you think it is urgent for Nigeria to consider restructuring, and how do we go about it?
Well, I think I participated in the 2014 conference. This issue of restructuring figured very prominently. And the pieces of recommendations were made. The only thing was that the former President Goodluck Jonathan did not start the areas you should have started, that they didn't require so much of National Assembly involvement. I think if the present administration can clean up that very document and revisit it, because there are so many useful suggestions in that very piece of document, I think it will help the country, because it depends on the definition of restructuring. So many people interpret it in different ways. You know, it's like fiscal federalism. There's no section of Nigeria that doesn't have one natural endowment or the other. If we emphasize various regions utilizing their own natural endowment, I think it will make a lot of sense. Restructuring is not bad if properly defined and every person understands. It doesn't mean breaking up of the country. Remember, there was a time Nigeria depended on groundnut proceeds. That we have oil now doesn't mean that there are some other areas in the north where you have gold and all kinds of mineral deposits. It should be also looked into. That is what I mean by every region, every state in Nigeria. It may not be on equal quantity, has something that can help the country grow. So I support the idea of revisiting the issue of restructuring and going to that recommendations made by the 2014 National Conference. I participated in it, and we made recommendations.
Senator Kenny Amani, always a wealth of your experience. Is always a pleasure to tap into it, and we really appreciate you coming on the program, because at some point we will really need you to come back, because you are an expert in electoral amendment, and we would like you to talk about that in the fullness of time. But thank you so much, former Senate President, for talking to us right here on China's television.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
That's our conversation with the former Senate President, Kenny Amani, and that's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.